Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Friday, July 24th, 2020. We're in the final hour of the trading day and the final day of the trading week. Boy, what a week. I do prefer to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions at the end of the day for my swing trades. In the last hour and particularly in the last few minutes during the day, you have the day traders and the algorithms. They are the ones that are in control of the price. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in, they're dealing with the most money. They take control of the pricing away from the day traders and algorithms. They take over. And they are dealing with the most money. They have very smart people, that they have the best technology, and they move the market, and I consider them smart money. So I like to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions based upon what they're doing at the end of the day. So currently the Dow Jones is down 175 points, down 0.66%. The NASDAQ is down 93 points, down 0.88%. And the S&P is down 20 points, down 0.63%. The NASDAQ getting the worst of it today, although it's well off of its lows. It was pretty ugly this morning. All right, let's take a look here. Hey, Evan's here. Good to see you, Evan. Always nice to see you, my friend. Hope you have a good day, and thank you for coming and joining today. So, all right, well, listen, here is the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. We're going to get that out of the way. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. I also had a few day trades today, different approaches, and so I'm going to share those with you as well. After that, some of you have been kind enough to share your trades with me. I am going to take a look at those, or we'll all take a look at those and see how everybody's doing there. After that, we're going to spend a few minutes on trader psychology. Most important part of the day of this show, in my opinion. You have to learn how to trade. You have to learn how to come up with a plan. But following that plan, that's the biggest challenge and biggest struggle for most traders, including myself over the years. I've gotten pretty good at it, but that's kind of why I always harp on it a little bit. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. After that, I have gone down through my watch list, and I have gone down through Kamal's scan today. And so we have some potential entries at the end of the day. We have some potential candidates. I have 3 requirements before I enter any trade. First requirement, have to make sure that I have a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up, ideally on multiple time frames. I look at each indicator as MACD and RSI, ATR channels, moving averages. I look at these as potential groups of buyers. And if I can see different indicators lining up, I consider that more than one group of buyers coming in, and you'll put yourself in the best position to have a profitable trade. Doesn't mean you will, but you'll put you'll put the odds in your favor if you're in the company with as many other buyers as possible. So that's why I look for a combination confluence of indicators lining up. Secondly, want to make sure you have a good risk to reward ratio. You can have a really great setup, but depending on moving averages or RSI levels above you, it may not give you the proper risk to reward that you're looking for. I look for 2 to 1. So if I'm going to risk $100, I want to be able to make $200 or more to the upside. And step number 3, requirement number 3, always want to make sure you take a few minutes, take a look at your positions, see how many positions you have, see how much correlation you have. If you have a bunch of positions and you're just adding a bunch more positions, obviously you're just adding on more risk, right? So, something to keep in mind, and try to make sure that your positions are not correlated or not correlated as much as possible. Every stock in some way is correlated, because the stock market goes up, most stocks go up. Stock market goes down, most stocks go down. But make sure they're not you don't have a bunch of stocks in the same industry, because those are really going to be highly correlated. Okay. So I'm going to go through the watch list, keeping in mind those 3 requirements. I'll go through the watch list once kind of quickly, see if there's anything that looks fairly decent. If it does, we'll put those over in another category. And at the end of the day, I'll go through those kind of final candidates with a fine-tooth comb and try to pick out the very, very best one. You know, ideally, I like to buy one per day, the best per day. Sometimes I'll buy two if they're completely in different industries. But so anyway, we'll go through those. I'll go through them with a fine-tooth comb. If they make sense, if any of them make sense, I'll go ahead and buy them right before the close of the market. Then after the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, please let me know. If there's any stock symbols you'd like me to look at, please let me know. If there's any stock symbols that you'd like to get my opinion on before the end of the day, please put them in the chat. Put an asterisk or emoji by it so that I know it's time sensitive. I'll do my best to get to it. What else? Then, if you could please wait till the end of the day, if you have any additions or subtractions to your current positions, if you could wait till the end of the day to let me know. That way, I'm off the clock. The market's closed. I'm not up against it, and then I can make sure to do it correctly. Okay. All right. So listen, that's the plan for today. Sound good? So I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in about 40 seconds. So hang tight. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All righty. Hey, Dan's here. Hi, Dan. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming. Quad Racer is here. Hey, Quad. Good afternoon. Happy Friday, all. Good afternoon to you, and happy Friday to you as well, Quad. Kamal is here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Great chatting with you through the day on Twitter, as always. David is here. Hey, David. How you doing? No lesson tonight, right? Just to confirm, I believe you're on vacation. I hope, and if you are, I hope you're having a good. I hope you're having a good vacation. So good to see you, David. Frank says hello, Greg and group. Hello, Frank. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a good day. Frank has a poem for us. A trader is a type of chef who stirs the pot and lowers the heat when things get too hot. We sell into strength with a pinch and a dash, and we do all we can to protect our cash. Wow, so good. Let me try that one more time. A trader is a type of chef who stirs the pot and lowers the heat when things get too hot. We sell into strength with a pinch and a dash, and we do all we can to protect our cash. Wow. I don't know how you do it every day, Frank, but I am really grateful that you do, because they're great poems. They're completely relevant, and it's just really a treat for all of us to have this. So thank you so much, sir. Appreciate that. David says, yes, sir. No lesson tonight. Okay. Sounds good. No lesson tonight. All right. Well. How's everybody doing today? Interesting day in the markets. Boy, did we sell off this morning and come roaring back on the NASDAQ at least, but it was it was looking pretty bleak there for a while. All right. All right. Well, let's get to it. Current positions. Okay. Kamal, Steve, Frank, and Miko, we are all in FAS, which is the 3 times financials. I believe Kamal bought FAS back here at 31.65. So he's doing really well. I waited till the next day. I think Steve, Frank, and Miko also did. We bought at $33.99 when we had a 520 crossover. Immediately went against us, but the 5 and the price still stayed above the 5 and the 20. Moved sideways, had a nice move up the next day after that sideways motion. Did hit a profit target. Yesterday we were up higher and reversed back lower. Currently, the price is still above the 5 and the 20. The 5 is still above the 20. We haven't moved. We haven't currently, at least. We don't have a close below the previous day's low. It has moved more than one ATR for my entry. Whenever it moves more than one ATR for my entry, I'm going to start trailing. And on a crossover trade, once it moves more than one ATR for my entry, if it closes below the previous day's low, I would sell half. So the low of yesterday is 3412. And right now we're at 34.39. So if it closed right here, I would keep it. Okay, next, Intercontinental Exchange. I think I'm the only one that bought this. I did buy this on 720 at 94.50. The reason I bought it, we took out this fractal. Here's the fractal back here on the 13th. We have a high with two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. We also moved above the 50 RSI, moved above the 50-day moving average, and so I did buy it here at 94.50. It's gone up and up and up and up and up. And of course, as things go up, I always do scale out on the way up. Up today, up about 0.5%, but has not hit a profit target. It also has moved more than one ATR for my entry, so I will be in trailing stop mode with ICE with a close below the previous day's low. All right, let me check something real quick. All right, SPY. All right, real quick. I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk and I sell it first thing the next morning. This is based not on technicals, but on back-tested results from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. Since 1993, they tested two approaches. First approach, buy the SPY at the open, hold it through the day, sell it at the close. If you use this approach every day since 1993, you'd have returned a negative 13.9% return. But if you do the opposite, which is what I do, instead of buying it at the open, I wait, buy it at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, I sell it first thing the next morning. This approach, positive 634.2% return compared to the opposite approach of negative 13.9%. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. We know that's true for any trading approach, but if I'm going to allocate money towards something, it's going to be something that has good back-tested results. The blue lines, the buy in the evening or buy at the close, hold overnight, sell the next morning. You can see this over time, it has just gone up and up and up and up and up. Doesn't mean it's going to in the future, but it has, right? It does have significant drawdowns. These are no fun. I've been through it this year, but over time, it has tested out nicely, right? The orange line's the buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon. This has literally done nothing. So I do take a small position size in this every single day, hold it overnight, sell the first thing the next morning. Doesn't always work, but over time, at least for me, it has worked. This is one of the ones where it didn't work. I did buy it yesterday at the close at 322.96. And I sold it this morning at 320.93. So a little bit whooped up on there, but that's just how it goes. Again, it's with the small position size. So I will buy this again today at the close. Uber. This is a weekly trade here. Earlier in the week, it triggered a higher low V2 when this bar got above bar one's close over here. Obviously, this is not going to, unless barring some kind of miracle, this is not going to close above bar one's close, so it would untrigger. So if I would have waited for this to confirm, I would have never gotten in the trade. But the flip side of that is sometimes if you wait for it to confirm, you're going to buy much, much higher. So anyway, I will be getting rid of this at the end of the day. Another weekly trade I have here on oil. I bought oil when we went under 30 RSI, over 30 RSI, under the negative third, over the negative third ATR channel, plus a V1. I bought it here at 28.40. Right now it's at 29.43, so up $1.03. I've been in this trade for like 5 weeks, but I do like to have different types of trades going on in different time frames, some longer, some shorter. I mean, you know, I do weekly trades, I do daily trades, I do intraday trades. So I like to get a mix of as many time frames as I can. So anyway, this one's up decently, although it doesn't look like much, but it is up 3.47%. So I will take it and no changes on this. All right, Apple. I did have some day trades, different type of day trades on Apple. Let me find the first one. Okay. So here we go. This is on the 5-minute chart. We were below the value zone. We came into the value zone. This is a little different trade. You see the orange triangle? This means this bar went above the previous bar and closed below. That's bearish. But if you can get a bearish signal followed immediately by a bullish signal, it becomes net bullish. So it went below the previous bar's high, then this bar, the bar that I bought it at, went above that first bar's high. It also went under 50, over 50 on the RSI, and that is why I bought it. I bought it here at 368.30. Went up nicely my way. I was kind of hoping it was going to reject that 100 to get me out, but it didn't. So I had to stay in, and I got in here with the rejection of that 100. I got out at 369.73. So I got in at 368.39 and I got out at 369.73. So $1 and change on the trade. So pretty good, I would have to say. Let me get rid of the... All right, so that was my long trade. Then let me switch over here on the fractal chart to show you a short trade. This is a fractal trade. I'm using the fractal chart where I have the alligator moving averages, which are the 5, the 8, and the 13 smooth weighted averages. You can see here the alligator was moving sideways, starting to get entwined. Here was a fractal to the downside. Here's the low, 2 lower highs to the left, 2 lower highs to the right. I shorted here when it triggered this fractal here. I shorted at 367.46. My stop would have been a close above the red line. It tried it, went below here. I thought, oh, that's it, but it kept below, so I kept it, and then down and down and down. Of course, I wish I would have covered down here, but I have to have some kind of plan to get out, and my plan was it had moved more than 1 ATR, and here it closed above the previous close. So I shorted here 367.47, and I got out at and I covered at 366.90. All right, there's that. And then I had a great trade on the VIX. Fantastic trade on the VIX. This is the same type of approach. However, it was to the long side. Here we have sidewards motion. Here's a fractal with the high, 2 lower highs to the left, 2 lower highs to the right. This bar here triggered the fractal over here. I bought it 30.63, and then it just went racing on up, and I didn't have to do anything with the trade. I was in this trade for, I don't know, an hour or longer. It had moved up more than 1 ATR, but it never closed below the low. Here I thought it was going to. It recovered and then had another thrust up, another thrust up. I got out here when we rejected the third ATR channel and we lost the 70 RSI. So I got in at 30.63 and I got out at 31.26, which percentage-wise is pretty dang good. It's 1.96%. So very happy with that trade, and been using fractals a lot more lately. And tell you what, pretty good, pretty good stuff. So that's that. Okay. Kamal says that AMD parabolic. Is AMD parabolic? Oh, yes, I would say so. I would say so. So they were the recipient, positive recipient of Intel's bad news. Wow, what a move. What a move. Steve Burns, hey bud, good to see you, my friend. Always appreciative that you come by and spend some time and say hi to us in the chat. Really, it's a great honor, and I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for including me on your list today on Twitter. That's always kind of you. So thank you, Steve. Hope you're doing well. And Holly and the dogs. Steve says, interesting that the 200-day has held resistance on VIX after another failed breakout. Let's take a look. Yep. Yesterday we tried to go above the 200 and failed. Today we were way up, and now we failed again. So, you know, I would say that's decent. That's bullishly decent for the market. You know, anytime the way that I would look at it, anytime the VIX is over the 200, it has all that support below it. And of course, the VIX and the market generally, not always, but generally go opposite directions. So, you know, this big gap up and reversal back down is a pretty good sign for the market. We'll see, right? We'll see. But yeah, for sure. Thank you, Steve. Steve says, big rewards in AMD for long traders to hold through the volatility since the moving average crossover is 520 EMA or 1030 EMA. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, it just depends what kind of trader you are. I mean, here was the 520 crossover back here, and it was kind of a, you know, you were definitely down at one point in the trade, but if you would have held on, boom. And, you know, and sometimes, you know, you'll look at a trade like silver or gold with 520 and you're like, oh man, I should just always trade that mechanically. But the truth is that there's lots of times, more times than not, where getting out with not the mechanical trades, but discretionary trades, you get the better of it. But your eye's always drawn to these kind of trades when the strictly mechanical does work. But if you're strictly mechanically trading this, what are you going to do? You're going to, you know, it's possible that by the time the 5 crosses back under the 20, it could be over here. You know, another possibility here would just be to, you know, if it lost the 70, get out. But if you did that, you would have gotten out here yesterday when it lost the 70. So, you know, there's always pluses and minuses, and just, you know, with crossovers, I just try to kind of split the difference on the trades and try to trail and get out of half. You know, if I reject the 70 RSI, then you know, I would have gotten out of half here, but I would have kept half here. If it rejects the 70, then I get out of half. But then if it has follow through to the downside, that's when I get out of the other half. So I would have gotten out of half here and stayed with half here. Hope that makes sense. Okie dokie. Hey, I want to give out a little call out to my friend Bruce, who bought some Apple. I think it was about 162 on that drop today. He was looking to buy Apple with some kind of dip, not anything specific to technicals or anything, but just the dip. And he bought at 162.70, and now it's 162 or 369.82. So that was a really good buy there, Bruce. Okay, now, David, do you still have Berkshire Hathaway? I was going through my charts and I see David here. I don't know. I know I took this trade. I think I got in here and I got out here. 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 And I got out and I believe you're out of it, but your name was still up, so I thought I would at least reach out and ask. KMX. Okay, so Steve and Bob did buy KMX at 94.90 with 520 crossover. Moved up initially, then we had that big down day, but then just strong all day long. Yesterday, it almost rejected the 70 RSI, not quite, but it did reject the third ATR channel. And it looks like a V1 to the downside, but it didn't reject the 70. Was up higher earlier today. Currently, it's down about 12 cents. So hanging in there pretty nicely, but still nicely up on the trade. PayPal. Okay, so I did buy PayPal back here at 174.01. Went up, hit some profit targets, hit another profit target here. I got out yesterday with this big reversal bar, bearish engulfing bar, V1, rejection of the 1 ATR channel, false breakout to the downside. So that is why I got out. But Bob, David, and Brian, I still have on here as holding. So if that's true, let me know. CPRT, okay, this was a trade that a bunch of us took back here on the 15th, bought it with this fractal and the close over the 200-day moving average, 86.59. Moved up nicely. I remember I hit 3 profit targets yesterday, but yesterday it rejected the 70 and the 30 ATR channel. I got out here, but I still show Bob being on here. IWM. Oh, this is over here. Frank and Steve did buy IWM with the 1030 SMA crossover. This does back test well. They bought it at 146.16. Immediately went up, a little sideways yesterday. Big day up, and now down today. So slightly underwater on the trade by about 30 cents for Frank and Steve. But this is a crossover trade with the 10 over the 30. Okay. DKNG, Kamal has had a beautiful trade on DKNG all the way back at 30.14 with this V1 30.14. It has just moved up nicely, down a little bit yesterday, but up again 1.8% today. And so far, Kamal is up about 22.5% on this trade. So congratulations, Kamal. Okay, this is Frank. I have some notes here. Okay, so Frank did buy CSX back here at 69.88. Had a really nice trade up. Earnings was 2 days ago. He did get out of 70% right about here before the end of the day. But he did keep 30%. It did go down yesterday, but glad that he got out of 70% up here. And so with the 30% remaining, so he did get out right near the high, 30% remaining. He does have a stop in place, and he's still profitable on the trade. VGR. So Kamal and Evan did take VGR. This looked like a nice initial trade. It had a V2 false breakout to the downside. Bought it at 8.98. Moved sideways, held halfway the washout bar, but today down pretty big. So that's a bummer there. If there's any changes on that, Kamal or Evan, let me know. AEM, Glenn had a beautiful trade on AEM at 63.15. This is miners. Of course, we know that gold and silver have been hot, so that's going to help the miners. Look at this beautiful trade. Holy smokes. Getting up there near the third ATR channel and the 70 RSI, but congratulations, Glenn. That's a monster trade, my friend. Up 13.55%. MA. Okay, I looked at this earlier and I saw it green. David did buy MA with this higher low V1 bullish engulfing bar, under 50, over 50, 298.90. Moved up nicely, scaled out, got out of half when it closed below the previous day's low, and then went on a nice run up, but it is down slightly today, but still positive. UNG, man, I was so close to taking this and I didn't, but I'm glad Quad did. Here we have a rejection of the -1 ATR channel. We have a bullish engulfing bar. We have a V1. I'm wondering why I didn't buy this. 985. Right now it is 1058. It is rejecting the 50-day moving average today. So if it were, not telling quad what to do, but if I were in this trade personally with the rejection of the 50 RSI or the 50-day moving average, that is where I would exit. But so far up 6.72%. Fantastic quad. Gold, Gary, look at this trade, everybody. So I was talking about trading the crossovers mechanically. Well, that's exactly what Gary did with the 520 crossover. Bought it here at 162.80. Right now it's 172 or 178.54. That's the power of trading things mechanically. But just because it worked this time doesn't mean it's always going to work. Up 8.83%. I believe his stop is going to be a close below the 70 RSI. One other thing to think about, now that we're above the 80, if it goes above 70 and below 70, generally I'll get out of half. But, you could also apply that to the 80 RSI. As long as it's above the 80, hold it. But if it goes below the 80, then possibly sell half and then wait for a close below the previous day's low. All right. Last but not least, RBA. I think Glenn bought this. I didn't put the name on here, or if I did, I'm pretty sure it's Glenn. Bought this here 44.60. Initially went up and down 1.44% today. So some winners today, some losers. Kind of a tough day. So that's how it goes. Not every trade is always a winning trade, is it? All right, let me just take a quick look at current conditions, current situations. Okay, FAS looks like I will be getting out of half today if it closes below yesterday's low. Currently it was under. Because it's a crossover trade, I'm not going to take the whole trade off. But because it moved more than one ATR, I will take half off. If it keeps going up Monday, great, I still have half. If it goes down, I'm happy I sold half. ICE is up, so this one, don't have to worry about that. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot to put in my SPY trade. We'll see how fortunate this will be on Monday. If I would have thought, oh, I wish I would have forgotten, but I have to do it. So let me put this in. When you put in a market on close order, it has to be 15 minutes before the market. Heaven forbid I actually have to do it manually, right? Okay, so that's in. XLRE does look like, oh, I forgot to go over XLRE. I bought XLRE at 35.08. This V1 bullish engulfing bar under 50 over 50 looked good. Yesterday we were way down, but now it did hold. It held the halfway in the 50 RSI. Right now it's 49.13, and no, sorry, my stop was about 34.83. Right now it's 34.78, but it has lost the halfway and it has lost the 50. If it closes over both, I'll hold it. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to get rid of it at the end of the day. And I think that's about it. Brian says, bad news, I didn't sell Intel before earnings. Ugh. Good news, I bought AMD on 7/22 at 60.30 and added more. Well, good. So it was better than a wash, right? It was better than a wash because what's Intel at? Intel was down, 16%. And AMD's up 16%. So a little bit of a wash, but Brian did add some to AMD. So good, good, good. Brian says, still have PayPal, also have Berkby. Oh, you do? I didn't have, we'll get Brian on there. I don't know where you bought it, but, uh-oh, what did I do? I did something. Okay, I've got Brian there. Oh, and PayPal. Oh, I've got Brian on there. Okay. All right. $190.49. Okay. And David, if you're out there, if you still have BRKB, let me know. Otherwise, I'll take your name off, and then we'll have Brian's actual price on there. Kamal just hit the 5% loss on VRG. So it looks like Kamal is out of VRG with this 5% emergency stop. So he said, look, once it gets below, if I lose more than 5% on the trade, I'm out. That's just it. But you've seen how many trades Kamal has had of 10, 15, 20, 25%. So, if he's looking for 1% gains, but he's taking 5% losses, that doesn't work. But, Kamal hangs in there, holds those things for a long time, and sometimes gets really outsized gains, which makes sense from a risk to reward ratio with 5%. Okay, so listen, before we get on to taking a look at possible end-of-day candidates, just want to shift gears for a minute and talk a little bit about trader psychology, get away from charts and indicators, all that kind of stuff, and try to drill down on what's really important, and that is your psychology and following your plan. This is from our good friend Steve Burns, who's in the chat with us right now at New Traders, Rich Traders. This is a page over on Facebook. So if you're over on Facebook, come over and request inclusion into this group. It's a really good group, pretty serious traders, good posts. Let's see what Steve has to say. I always say that you could publish trading rules in the newspaper and no one would follow them. The key is consistency and discipline. Almost anyone can make up a list of rules that are 80% as good as what we taught people. What they couldn't do is give them the confidence to stick to those rules even when things start going bad. This is Richard Dennis. And if you don't know who Richard Dennis is, if you've heard of the Turtle Traders, Richard Dennis was one of the founding members of the Turtles. And by the way, if you've ever seen the movie Trading Places, Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd and, help me out. Oh my gosh, he's one of my favorite comics. Oh my gosh, I have totally blanked. Eddie Murphy. Oh my gosh, how could I forget that? That movie is based upon the Turtle Traders. And, the Turtle Traders, when they signed up just regular people and they made millions and millions of dollars for the founding members, they had to sign a non-disclosure form for 10 years. They couldn't tell anybody what the turtle method was about. Well, most people know what that trading approach is, but for 10 years they couldn't mention anything. But what he's saying here is anybody can make up a list of 80% as good as what we taught our people. Maybe not 100%, but 80% is good. That's why I'm saying when it comes to trading approaches, I don't get fussy about the best trading approach. I just get fussy about a decent approach that works well, but the more important thing is that you have to follow it, right? If somebody said, oh, hey, I know the secret turtle trading, they've made $100 million, you'd be like, oh, give it to me. What is it? Well, what Richard Dennis is saying here, I could publish these secret rules in the newspaper and no one could follow them. Because what they couldn't do is they wouldn't have the confidence to stick around those rules even when things are going bad. Every single trading approach goes bad at some point. It just means you're not in phase with the market. That's it, right? You're just not in phase of the market. Sometimes we are, sometimes we're not. If we're in phase, we're making money. If we're out of phase, we're losing money. But the key is it's not about a secret formula. It's not about a secret trading approach. It's about finding a trading approach that fits your personality, that you can follow through thick, that has an edge, that you can follow through thick or thin. But There's no holy grail trading approach out there. There's just something that fits your personality, but the more important part is that you stick by it. So anyway, if you haven't seen the movie Trading Places, go watch it and realize that it's based upon the turtle trader story, which is a real story. So thank you, Steve, for sharing that. I did a lot of studying into the turtle traders. Of course, I took Michael Covell's course, and Steve is friends with Michael Covell. And, he's done a lot. He wrote The Complete Turtle Trader, I believe. So it's an interesting concept. It's a trend following approach. They pyramid position sizes when it goes up. So they don't take a full position immediately. It has to go up a certain amount, then they'll add. And then it goes up again, they'll add another contract. Most of this was done with futures contracts. And a lot of the time they lost. I would say probably 65 or 70% of all their trades were losers, but their winners were monsters. So anyway, it's not about the one particular trading approach. It's just a decent approach that you can follow, which is important. Okay, so David is out. All right, so I'll take you off of there. And MA, MasterCard, you're also out. All right, I'll take you off of there as well. Glad to hear that you were out then. Ugh. Okay. Alan is here. Hey, Alan, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you being here, sir. Steve says, one of my favorite trading quotes by Richard Dennis. Yep, 100%. 100%. There's no, you could have the best trading approach in the world, but if you don't have the confidence to follow it, if it doesn't fit your personality, I could have the best trend trading approach in the world, but I don't like to hold things that long, right? So Eddie Murphy, right. Steve says drawdowns and losing streaks end new traders' enthusiasm very quickly about any trading strategy, system, or strategy. Yeah, you don't always win. That's the key. You don't always win. You just have to understand it's part of doing business. Kamal says, imagine having silver futures with the turtle approach on the upside. I know. Kamal, I ran through there even with the fractals. With the fractals, it's unbelievable. I mean, let's go back here and look. Oh, I guess I better go to the fractal chart. All right. Here's the fractal chart. Okay, well, I would say the alligator is sleeping here, right? Here's your first fractal. There's your first entry. One entry there. Another fractal comes here. I mean, let's see. So you would have added one. Yeah, you would have added one fractal here, one fractal here. On futures, you would have absolutely just demolished it. Wow. Frank says, they don't do much for old ones either, Steve. Yeah. We could do without them, is what Frank's saying, right? We could all do without them, but we realize it's just part of it. We realize it is just part of the deal. All right. Well, should we get to it? Look at possible entries today, new entries today. DKNG. Okay, Kamal already has this. It did trigger a higher low V1, but it's outside of the value zone. So for me, that's a little too high for me to take it here. Goldman Sachs. I was looking at the dreaded Goldman Sachs. I know nobody likes Goldman Sachs, but I do like that we were high up here. We came all the way back down to the value zone, and the 200-day just happens to be in the value zone, which is always nice. but I was looking for a close above the 200-day moving average, but earlier it was above, now it's closed below. So that one's off the table. NVIDIA, so false breakout to the downside from over here plus a V1. It's already rejected the 1 ATR channel. I mean, could be worse trades. I mean, but I'm not going to take it because it's already rejected the 1 ATR channel, a little high in the value zone. And we have a lower high here, which normally I wouldn't take, but it did wash out over here. So that makes things a little bit better. But I'm a little concerned about yesterday's move down, so I'm going to stay away from this. MTCH, this could trigger a nice V2 on Monday with the false breakout to the downside, but as it is right now, no. This isn't bad. This is FU2 Holdings, bullish engulfing bar V1. Did we get under 50 today? Oh, well, I guess I can just check. That's the nice thing about this little bar on Trade Navigator. See, at the low, ooh, bounced right about 50, held that 50. So that's a good sign that it bounced off the 50 plus the V1, false breakout to the downside. Weekly is definitely a little high. I do like how it rejected the 5 EMA on the weekly. It is quite high. There is no doubt about it, but we're over the third ATR channel. If you can ever close above the third ATR channel, that is very strong. So I kind of like this one, to be honest with you. Qualcomm. Listen, I just want to caution everybody. Yesterday was a big bar down on lots of volume. I'm not surprised we have a little bit of a rally here, but tons of people sold. So I would imagine if it gets back up there, tons of people are going to sell again. So to me, this looks like a distribution bar. Doesn't, you know, you drop a ball from a roof, it's going to drop and bounce a little bit, but it's not ever going to bounce right back up to where you were. And that's kind of an analogy I use. So I don't like Qualcomm. MGM, you know, I don't like MGM yet, but it's getting pretty close to testing this low over here. This would give us a double bottom with the bullish divergence. All I would need is a trigger. So if we can come back down, test this low, have some kind of V1, V2, something like that, I would consider it. MongoDB, I think Kamal got out of this. Here we are testing the low, but we have no double bottom bullish divergence, so I don't see anything there. Etsy, we came into the value zone. We made a lower high. If we make a lower high, we have to wash out that previous low. We have done that. I would need this to at least trigger a V1, and I don't think it's going to do that. It is above the 50 RSI. I don't think that's going to happen, but I will keep an eye on it at the end of the day. EDU, yes, it is a V1, but it's a V1 up against a monster down big bar, so that doesn't interest me. BA, Boeing, boy, it has tried to go up and failed, tried to go up and failed, tried to go up and failed, tried to go up and failed. I don't see anything on Boeing. Bill.com. I don't see anything here. Nike, good, but I just don't see anything enough for me to buy here. Good relative strength. MACD did go positive, but we had that big reversal bar yesterday. We failed at the halfway Fibonacci, so I'm going to let that one go. Dexcom. Yes, it's a V1, but we made a lower high and it didn't wash out this low. It did wash out this low, or did it? No, it didn't. Good relative strength here, but I'm going to let that one go as well. Edit. Listen, if it could trigger a V1 today, I would be okay with it, with the rejection of the -1 ATR channel, the sideways movement, the rejection of the 50. But as it is right now, no, but I will put it over here in the possibility group. Pins. How much time we have? 10 minutes. Close. 24:64. see what the weekly looks like. It's possible. Tilray. Glad I got out of that one. I did. I don't see anything on Tilray. And BKNG, Bookings Holdings. Above the 1 ATR channel. Came into the value zone. Held. It's decent, but I don't like the resistance on the weekly above, and I don't like the 200-day above there either. Okay, so FUTU does look the best to me at the moment. Yeah, that to me that's the clear winner, FUTU. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a quick little glance over here. So FAS is going to be very close for me getting out of half. ICE is fine. Uber, okay. So I have to get out of Uber. Okay, I'm out of Uber. Next thing I have to look at here is XLRE. I think I am going to have to get out of XLRE. Make sure I don't have any. Yeah. So I am getting out of XLRE. And over here as well. Okay. Oh, VIX has now gone negative. Interesting. So the one I really have to watch here is FAS. And to me, I think FUTU is fine. What do you have? Okay, we have 7 minutes, so I'm okay to hold. Kamal says TTD. I don't like it, Kamal, because there's no sideways movement. We came down, held sideways for 1 day. Now we're down. It hasn't showed me that it's holding enough. Did have a false breakout, which is good, but yesterday's bar really was big. So it's missing one component. A couple days more sideways and the V1 and the false breakout would be good. I mean, it's okay. It's okay, but it did reject the third ATR channel on the weekly also. Steve says, I thought the same, Kamal, with silver and gold. The leverage futures give them and their careful position sizing parameters based on volatility is a huge part of their edge, magnifying their returns. Steve says, that is the truth. A big part of my trading is regret minimization by avoiding big drawdowns, big losing streaks, and exposing my capital to high volatility for little gains for too long. Kamal says, agreed. Oil might be set up at some point. The turtle system made a fortune in short of oil this year, I'm sure. Turtles went short and long equities with futures, mostly commodities. Their biggest strengths were managing to ride volatility successfully to capture the big trend. Very mechanical traders overall. Yep. Okay. So fast, I'm looking to sell half if we close below 34.12, but it's right there on the button right now. I did get rid of Uber on the weekly with the untriggering. XLRE, I got rid of XLRE for a small loss. And we have 5 minutes. FUTU, let's take a look intraday and see what it looks like. It's holding that 200 on the 39, holding in the value zone there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Okay, FUTU. Uh-oh, what's happening? FU. Sorry, I don't mean FU. There we go. Okay. 4-cent spread on that one, everybody. High volatility, so I'm buying a low amount of shares. 462. You know, the higher the volatility, that's what I like about using the 2 ATR, is that it accounts for volatility. And so if there's high volatility, you put in what you're planning on risking, and then the ATR reading does the rest. And I was surprised by dollar-wise how low that was, but the reason why is because it's very high volatility. Looks like FAS is going to hold. All right, FAS 3412, so it's definitely possible it could get below there. 3412, and we have about a minute and 15 seconds left. Oh, goodness. Glad I caught that, I'll tell you what. Okay. Watching FAS closely for that 3412 mark. I think it's going to do it. Yep, it held. Whew. All right. Okay, so that's the trading week. Hope you had a good week. Listen, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them, happy to clarify anything I talked about, happy to look at any stock symbols. If you have any new additions or subtractions, please let me know. Happy to put those up on the board. But before I do, just real quick, just want to quickly do my daily plug and just remind everybody that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I've been trading for 24 years. I've been teaching for a couple years now. I really enjoy it. I've had really good success with my clients. I have studied one-on-one with some great traders and great authors over the year, like Steve Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerry Lavorne, Larry Williams, and the course that I teach incorporates all four of these gentlemen's approaches in one course. It's 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours, so it's a total of 15 hours. So it is intensive. I think the best way to learn is one-on-one, and that's why I designed my course this way. First part of the course I teach. Second part of the course you basically teach it back to me, and we just do a lot of chart study. I ask you, what's the best trade here? Is this a legitimate entry? Where's your exit? Where's your end of day stop? Where's your emergency stop? Where's your first profit target? Where's your second profit target? All that kind of stuff. But it is $1,000, but I think it's worth every penny. So if you've been thinking about it, please send me an email. Email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. And if you do reach out to me, I'll say, hey, how's it going? Let's set up a Skype call. Skype call is totally free. It is not a sales call. There's no sales pressure. All I want to do is talk to you a little bit, get to know you a little bit better, learn more about your trading, what your goals are, what your challenges are, and then it's a good time for you to ask me about the course, any questions you have about the course. But I want to reiterate, there is no sales pressure. After we're done with the call, I'll say, hey, nice talking to you. Think about it. If you're interested, send me an email. So pretty easy that way. And then if you like today's podcast, I would really appreciate it if you would hit the thumbs up button. It does help build the channel. A lot of people out there that could really benefit from some good trading principles that I try to teach here in the course. So you can help me help them get here by hitting the thumbs up button if you get out here, if you like today's content. Okay, plugs are over. Let me take a look, see where I got filled. So I got filled on the SPY at 320.88, and I got filled on FUTU at 28.53. All right, so overnight SPY loss right about where it opened. Did buy it today at 320.88, and I will sell it first thing Monday morning. And then FUTU, right, I got filled at 28.53. Oh, that's a pretty good entry. I got it a little bit before the close. So it's 28.64. So 11 cents. Hey, I'll take it. FAS I kept because it did hold above previous day's low. ICE, we had a good day up there. I'm in trailing stop mode because we moved more than one ATR from our entry. We already talked about SPY, USO, up on the week on that trade, which was good. Where did Apple? Apple closed at 93. Didn't trigger that V1, by the way, Kamal. And then had the nice trade on VIX before it went crashing down. Good day trades today, boy. Had some good day trades. The other day, it was a little sketchy. I think I was 50%, I think. Two winners out of 4, but today was fantastic with that volatility. All right. Okay, Kamal got out of VGR. I think I already took you off there, Kamal. Holding DKNG and fast. Bob says now out of CPRT. Okay, nice trade there, Bob. Evan says close VRG. All right. VRG is gone. So I have Brian in Berkshire Hathaway. I have Steve and Bob in KMX. I have Brian, David, and Bob in PayPal. Is that correct? IWM, I have Frank and Steve. AEM, Glenn had a beautiful trade. Whoa, that was up 3.8% today. Boy, I'll tell you what, Glenn has some big trades sometimes. DKNG, speaking of big trades, Kamal, nice, beautiful trade, up 3.65% today. CSX, Frank got out of 70% here before earnings, which was good. He has a trailing stop on his remaining 30. GLD, Gary, wow. Look, the slope of this move up is higher than the slope of the 5-day moving average. You don't see that very often. Look at this slope of the 5 compared to that slope of the actual price. Wow, gold so freaking strong. Above the 6 ATR channel. That takes a lot of strength. Quad, nice trade so far on UNG, and RBA is Glenn a little down on that one today. Gold holder, hey gold holder, how you doing, bud? He says howdy, howdy back to you. Glenn says hi Greg, still in AEM and RBA. Okay, got you in RBA and AEM. Congratulations on that great trade, Glenn. Gold holder says, can you take a look at something for me? KTOS, it seems to be unsellable PM or AH, but doesn't read halted on my TI scanner. Kratos Defense and Security. I'm not sure what you mean there by it seems to be unsellable PM or after hours, but it doesn't read halted. I mean, I see it right now. It's up 2.8 cents after market. It has a bid of 1940 and it has an ask of 1951. So it does look like it is sellable there. If you want to hit the bid at 1940, that's what I see anyway. Pre-market or after hours? Well, we're in after hours now, and I do see that as trading. They got a big contract with the U.S. Air Force. Maybe my broker doesn't have that ability. Just a thought, but on most trading platforms, gold, you know, you switch it over to after markets. I don't know if that helps. I don't know who you use, but I would think that most traders you could, like here, I can, you know, use smart or I can switch over to after hours. But it should show you regardless of on your trading platform that what it is trading after hours. And I show it up 11 cents. All right, so I kind of like where I'm at. FUTU, I do like that. It means false breakout to the downside. V1, bullish engulfing, bounced off the 50 RSI. Good risk to reward ratio. You know, my risk will be here, halfway the washout bar. If it closes below there, just get out. You know, I took my maximum allowable loss on any one trade, and I divided the value of the 2 ATR in it. The value of the 2 ATR. Let's say I was going to lose, you know, I was willing to lose $2,000 on a trade. So I take $2,000 divided by 4.87. Tell me to buy 410 shares. Times 2864. It'd be an $11,761 total outlay, which for risking a possibility of $2,000, $11,000 is not that much. And the reason why is because the average true range is so high. That's why it only told me to buy that many shares. So that's what I really love about using the value of the 2 ATR. Hope that makes sense. Gold says, well, now it appears tradable. Schwab, you confused me. Thanks for checking. You're certainly welcome. Gold holder, do you have any gold? Do you have any gold positions with your name? I don't know if you do or not. I hope you do. I hope you do. Because, man, that has been on a tear. What did silver, did actually silver end up today as well? Yes, yes, yes. Boy, if you're short and fighting that trend, man, hope none of you out there are doing that. I want to look at Apple on the 5-minute chart. Nothing too crazy. VIX really did sell off. Let's look at the VIX over on the actual. Yeah, couldn't hold the 200. It tried. It tried. V1 to the downside. I do. Physical. Fantastic. Glad to hear that, bud. Best kind to hold, isn't it? Physical. Wild choppy day in the market today, huh? Totally was. All right. Well, listen, it's a beautiful day here in Utah. I'm going to put my hiking boots on, go out for a nice hike. Last few days it was kind of stormy and yucky, but clear skies today, which is my kind of day, so I'm looking forward to that. Katie's over there. She's sleeping, but I'm sure she would want me to tell you hi. If you have any other final questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to put those hiking boots on and go for a hike and enjoy the weekend and have a little break from trading for a couple days. All right. Well, listen, everybody, I appreciate you coming by. I really do look forward to seeing everyone. I'm grateful that we have this group. I hope you had a good week. It was a pretty crazy week. But remember, you know, we're not always going to win. We are going to have losses. We're going to have strings of losses. We're going to have drawdowns. Key is position size correctly. Try to keep those losses small. Keep the weeds out of your gardens. Let your flowers bloom. Let your vegetables grow. But keep the weeds out. And when I say weeds, I'm talking about losses. Let your winners run, let those and keep those losses short and keep your garden free of weeds, all right? Glenn says, quick view on SKY, okay. Well, it's holding the 200-day, Glenn, which is good. You know, some people will buy with just a rejection of the 200 and back over. I would prefer a V1 or a V2 that gets me back over. You know, this is the kind of trade here where you could say, okay, I'm going to buy it here, but if it closes under the 200, I'm going to get out. Theoretically, it's a small loss, but you could have a big down bar. I just haven't seen any up movement yet. I'd kind of like to see, you know, ideally, I'd like to see this open lower, close higher, test this area, and close above the previous day's close. I mean, we did test it today. We tested the 200, we tested the 10, we tested the 1 ATR channel. That is good, and it puts you in a pretty good position here to have a good risk to reward ratio, but still there hasn't been any up movements yet. So, you know, this is the kind of trade where you could just really have a monster to the upside if it goes up, but this looks to me like you could possibly have a big down bar as well. So it's more of an anticipatory trade. I mean, not totally, because it did reject the 200, so it gave you a little confirmation, but no up confirmation. So that's my opinion. Well, let's look at the weekly. Weekly tested this previous high over here, rejected the 50-week moving average, V1 to the downside. So that's not super positive. TGT. Let's look at this on the fractal chart. Well, it did trigger a fractal back here on the 22nd. I wouldn't necessarily say that the alligator was sleeping in this area. I don't think I would have taken this one, this fractal trade right here. Well off of its high today. You know, if I was not going to take this as a fractal, I wouldn't just take this with this breakout here. It's well off of its high, and let's see, how high did we get? 65.48. Yesterday we went higher and closed lower than the day before. That's negative. Today we went above that first day. That's positive. Weekly, well, you know, we're working on a cup with a handle here, right? Here we have this big move down. We came up 3/4 from here to here. Here's your cup. Here's your handle. The correct cup and handle move on this would be a close above this high. 125.97. I imagine a lot of people are going to see that because that is a pretty nice cup and handle. Cup, little handle. The correct buy signal for that cup and handle would be there on the weekly. So, you know, if I were to buy this, I would probably buy it on the weekly with this cup and handle. But in the daily right here, I just don't really see anything that I'm too excited about. Dan says, have a great hike. 2 thumbs up. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. Have a good weekend. Thank you, Gold Holder. Hope you do as well. Oh, SYK. Striker. Well, it seems pretty strong. I mean, it rejected the 200-day moving average today. It had a V1. It closed above the third ATR channel. That is pretty dang strong. Closed above the 250-day. MACD's positive. Weekly closed above the 50-week moving average. Not bad. Yeah, but you know me, Glenn. It's a little high for me to buy. I don't like to buy up here in this range. But if you're trying to play the momentum, it certainly could go up higher. But we know 92% of prices fail here, but sometimes they succeed spectacularly. But I mean, it's not bad. Bullish engulfing, V1, rejection of the 200-day moving average, close above the 250, close above the third ATR channel. It's not bad, just a little too high for me. Okay. You locked in profits on UNG. Nice, Quad. Fantastic. Oh, still an XLRE. Okay, and I have Gary M there as well. All right, well, we've pared down the board a little bit. I've pared down my positions a little bit. Okay, I think that's a wrap. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Go out and try to do something nice for somebody today. Just a little smile or a wave or a hello or just be pleasant. It would make the world a better place if we could all remember to do that each day. And it's scientifically proven to improve your trading. That's what I've determined. I have no idea if it's true, but it sounds good, right? So I think that's it. Thank you all for coming. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button before you get out of here, I would really appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing everybody next Monday. So have a good weekend. Have a safe weekend, okay? And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.